Hi guys, and welcome to the FRL podcast with myself and Chris. Gamer Dad will be here shortly, but for tonight our special guest is Michael Races. Say hi, Michael.
Hello.
So we've got a couple of little things we need to get. Hi guys, and welcome to the FRL podcast with myself and Chris. Gamer
Oh
Dad
no,
will be here
don't tell
shortly.
me.
It's all good. We'll look live.
My YouTube was making voices, so we were hearing myself twice. Right,
Fantastic.
so anyway, Christopher here is going to go over some little things about the web and everything before we get started, and then we'll get started right away. Gamer Dad will be here about 10 after 10. So take it away, Chris.
Cool. Hi guys. So tonight's we've got a really special show. We're usual. The only thing we're not going to do tonight's our Coop's Corner. We're missing Coop's tonight again. He's got prior engagements, but we'll definitely go over any of the kind of questions that come in on the live feeds. Talking about the live feed, we've got Woodward who's now watching. He's just saying good evening, the alien himself, which is obviously directed at myself. Thanks very much.
I thought it was Cal.
No, so we've got our
Christopher's
just
only
run
yelling
off.
because he looks like a fish.
As always, we have our sponsors, which is Pure Sim Gear. We have two leagues as well, which we'll go over that later on during the broadcasts. Our PC League and our PlayStation League as well, just on the standings, etc. If you want to get onto our website, you know where to go. It's formularacingligue.co.uk. And if you've got any questions at all, get them into us through the Formula Racing League 0 at gmail.com. It's the best place to put it. Now tonight we're going to cover off a good few points. We've had the new update on PC. We've had a hotfix on PlayStation. It's not necessarily been the best for PlayStation, but we'll still cover it off anyway. A few things have got better, but we're still waiting on other aspects. We would have liked to have had Coops in tonight because he would have gave us a direct kind of feedback on how that goes with regards to the comms, etc. But as it stands, it's fixed a lot of other things, which is just keeping us racing. I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to get on, race as much as we possibly can.
Well, comms is basically still broken. But I did talk, me and Coops was talking about it, and the problem when it comes to PlayStation is there's not enough emphasis on comms on PlayStation. We will put comms on for every race that we can do, but a lot of leagues don't bother, and you don't really get comms in other leagues unless you're on PC. And on PC it's more demand, and the guys that race in the leagues will actually say, do we have comms tonight? And if you say no, they want to know why. It's like, we demand comms or we're not going to race on your league.
Well, comms is a very, very good feature to have in any racing league.
Because what I says to Coops was, I says there probably wasn't enough complaints about the comms side of it on PlayStation for them to actually go ahead and fix it. Because they were taking what things were wrong and then going and doing them. And if Coops was the only man that sent in a wee emails complaining about it, they're not going to do that.
I'm sure there'd have been a lot more comms guys doing that.
Yeah, well, it took them, what did it take, 6 months, nearly a year on PS4 for them to get it all straightened out when it first started. It was horrible. I don't see it being any better.
Our special guest tonight, as you see, is Michael Thomas, or Michael Races, as he's better known.
Yep.
We all hate racing him because we're always trying to catch him. He's always at the front. So we're going to have a little section tonight where Michael's going to kind of just talk a bit about himself, and if we've got any questions that you want to ask Michael at all, do so in the live feed, guys. Get involved. Let's grill him. Let's see where.
I'd like to ask him a question right off the bat, actually.
Okay.
So.
God, here we go.
Well, it's mostly
Prepare
because
yourself.
I cannot remember. But how many seasons have you now been at FRL? Because it's not a lot. It's not a big amount.
It was the tail end of one when I first joined, and then one full one last season with the Sundays and the Tuesdays, and then the beginning of this one.
Aye, and you've been making some serious waves since you've come in. Well,
Tsunami.
we think you were there to preempt something, and then for some reason some random guy seems to have shown face and he's leaving you for dust. But we'll talk about him later on. We know who it is.
You and Traction Dave reminded me of, you ever seen the film Talladega Nights?
Yeah.
You know what? I hear it's good, but I really need to watch it.
Yeah, you remind me of Shake and Bake. You and Traction Dave.
Definitely. Oh wow.
I hear that phrase a lot.
That's what you're going to be dubbed as from now on. That's fantastic. So, fire away. Give us a wee bit about yourself, Michael. Give us a bit about your background and so on.
Okay, just 1 second.
Oh dear.
I'm now prepared.
Mr. King.
Are we worthy to look at you, or should we?
Race of Champions, King.
Just bow and
Oh my back. Oh.
Anyway, so I started sim racing the same as probably the majority of people during lockdown on a controller and a Gran Turismo. Take this off, it's falling off. Dave, can't touch this. Yeah, so Gran Turismo in the beginning of lockdown, whenever that was, and then when I managed to move house, got myself a rig, played Gran Turismo, found out it was a bit and then I thought I'll try ACC. It's been sitting in a drawer for like 6 months, so yeah, jumped on ACC in like November. Done my first race with you guys like 2 weeks after I started playing it, and then just tried to practice.
And like a duck to water, because I think you came in and made an immediate impact. You had a very good debut.
I think there was one race that I was actually able to fight against you, and that was it. After that, you were just gone.
You're gone.
Yeah, first race was Alton Park, and that was obviously on a track that wasn't on Gran Turismo or a track that I'd ever heard of, quite honestly. So that was a learning curve.
Thankfully, a big learning curve.
You jump in a Bentley and everything's quite alright.
Yes, of course. But you show competency in speed and pace and ability in pretty much every car you've driven in so far. So, and it's the game. You can easily adapt to the game and the cars itself, but having an understanding of the setup makes it a little bit better. I mean, what's your understanding of the GT3 car itself? I mean, when you're setting your car up, do you know what you're doing, or is it you go out, feel for it? Kind of what I do.
I'd say at the beginning, like, I didn't have a clue with setups. I just knew that the aggressive setup was the way to go, so I'd chuck that on. If it was too difficult, then I'd just go to a safe preset, and then I'd try and just find a balance just between them. And then as time went on, I wanted to get better and better and better. I was just reading a lot more and watching YouTube, just trying to figure out what each thing meant. So if the car's doing X, change, this. It wasn't like a natural thing. I had to change a lot of things in my setup, like the wheel and the force feedback, and you find all these things out as you do more and more and more and more. But yeah, once you find the sweet spot, you can just concentrate on the actual driving. That's the main thing.
What I find with your setup Corsa competition is when you find that sweet spot, it's not enough, because there's always room for improvement. There's always something else, and you guys keep doing it. Every single series, the Elite and the Aliens, you just keep on pumping out those track records, and you just keep knocking tenths and more tenths off and more tenths off. And then last night on Laguna Seca, between you and Traction Dave, nearly hitting the 21s was frightening.
Yeah, we looked. His lap time was would have been third place on a grid with Jardier. on PC.
See, that's brilliant.
Which is crazy.
I think that in itself, and they're on PC, yeah. So PC's got like a completely different physics altogether. It's such a different game.
Yeah.
It takes a lot more setting your car up. So it's amazing that we've got probably one of the fastest guys, I would say, in the world.
Yeah, well done, Dave.
I would like to say that Traction Dave has just mentioned in the comments that Michael doesn't actually know anything. It's all thanks to Mr. Traction Dave that he gets everything.
I was trying to take credit for your ability.
Why he's there is to set his car up and let him go. So we come back to the shake and bake situation again.
Trust us, his setups are undrivable for me most of the time. Whereas my setups, he can drive quite easily. So
Right.
that says a lot, really.
We have a game for him.
There's Paul. How are we, sir?
Just got in the door.
I get to witness nose cam live.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get it 10 minutes later or 10 seconds later.
No.
So I've just been kind of talking there about how Traction Dave last night, his times were up there with he's checked and it was up there with Ferrari and things like that. Some of the fastest guys in the simming world.
Yeah, in a race they completed I don't know how in the last 6 months or so on PC. The fastest was like a 21.7 and Dave's was a 22.2, so that's 5/10 off for PC. First place quali.
Nice.
Which would have been third place, which is just mad.
I think there's no doubt that Dave is a fast guy. The only small flaw that I see is consistency sometimes. Sometimes it's just the race just goes away and you can't catch it again.
Don't talk to me about Dave and consistency, because normally when he ends up spinning, I end up taking the brunt of it.
Well, that goes hand in hand with the fact that you're not very consistent either, gamer.
Oh, by the way, Gamer Dad.
Oh yes, love it. Love it.
So let's talk a wee bit about the Race of Champions.
Who won that again?
That just a little man called Michael. You were rapid. You had so much pace. I can remember I was on your feed as well, and I was kind of giving you a wee bit of.
You really put me off.
A bit of feedback and talking away, and then I kind of come off your feed because I knew you were concentrating. You'd panic in your voice, but
I had about 6 people trying to talk to us at the same time, and going down into like the last chicane after 130R, and it was just
What? Shut up, Lisa!
I do tell people if they're watching, like, no offense, I need to concentrate right now. I'm not going to talk back. It just is what it is.
That's it. We've all got our own wee niche, our own wee way of doing things, and you certainly produced the goods. It was good to watch. It was very good to watch. And we're probably going to be talking about Race of Champions for months and months to come. And talking about Race of Champions, we've got the new thing that was announced today by James.
I still know
Oh yes.
You're going to have to explain it because I have no idea about it because I've not managed to read it yet.
Right. Okay.
So it's open to everyone. I think we're going to do a PC one as well.
Yes. This will
So
be
that's going to be announced tomorrow, I do believe.
Right.
Hopefully, I think they're talking about it. But for the PlayStation guys, it's Ferrari and Brands. What a combination!
Ferrari Evo.
It's got to be the 2020 car.
Yep.
At Brands Hatch 2020 track, and just set your fastest time, conditions, whatever you want. And so top 20 for PS4 will go to the race, and top 30 for the PS5 will go to the race. So, yeah.
The race happens on the 21st of May?
I think it's going to be a Saturday.
Hang on, I'll just check.
I think James changed it, so somebody,
oh, right.
some of our friends from across the pond can enter as well.
Cool.
So it's a weekend, so everyone, because not everyone works at weekends, so.
True.
Yeah, but
I'm just trying to see if I can find it here. Yeah, and you've based there's a cut-off date as well.
There's a cut-off date of the 14th.
Yep.
Yep. Of whatever month that was. I can't remember.
I think it's May. So it's something that's going to take place soon.
We don't know the track for the race champions yet or car, so the car and track will be different. This is just for qualifying.
Yeah.
Ah.
This is for everyone to.
Interesting.
This is so that you can get
So
your times
Michael, me and you can't just dominate in the Ferrari, mate.
That's made me a bit more sad, to be fair. I was thinking
Yeah.
Brands and the Ferrari from there.
And Jamie, you owe me because I gave you my setup and you just put in a rapid time. I've seen your time.
in. I can't see that. I think it's. Has it been moved away? Has it put on hold?
What?
Where the hell is this? Try to find it. Oh my goodness, where is this? There's so many chats. Look. What's the? I can't find it.
What are you looking for?
It had all the specifics in it. The actual post that was put up.
Yeah, it's just under incidents. Oh, look at these two. Do you want me to find it and I'll tell you what it is?
I wasn't looking at it, I'm doing something else.
Nothing unusual, Del. Oh, congratulations tonight, Del, by the way, for a class win.
Yes.
Yeah, first class
Well
win.
done, son. Well done indeed.
First out of two. Hey!
Win's a win.
It's
A
only
win is
it's
a
only
win.
because I got 2 fastest laps.
Yeah, he's actually top
So
because it's 2 fastest laps in quality. Well done.
Dresco 22 was actually overall he was quicker the second race than me. I think he had a couple of offs in the first race.
Where was it tonight, Del?
It was under Laguna second.
Oh, we love Laguna. Oh, I love Laguna. Great track.
It's an absolute nightmare in that car. That car's just a nightmare in general.
Yeah.
The new
I
Ferrari.
was using the new Ferrari.
Yeah. So the new Ferrari is an absolute rocket in a straight line,
Oh,
but will not turn the
Understatement.
corner and will not stop. It's an American car. It's a muscle car basically. It will fly in a straight line. On Laguna Seca, I think I was doing 260 something kilometres an hour down the straight. And just going into
I have no idea what that is. I don't use KMH.
I don't know. I really am not sure.
nah, you done well tonight, though. You were
Well
mixing
well
it up.
done, Del.
It's probably close to 170, 180 mile an hour.
Mhm.
Well done, Del. That's
Just-
one more win than Chris has got, by the way. So happy days.
Oh, I just thought about it. My sun grid will now have a 1.
But well.
There we go.
Spicy.
Enjoy that. So let's get back to what you were looking for. Did you find it? Tris?
Nope.
Blank stare said the most. But yeah.
Alright, so we'll just move on. What are you trying to find? I've lost track of what you're trying to find.
The actual dates and the specifics.
For
I'm sure someone will put it in chat.
So, the race of champions. So it's something we're all looking forward to, and anyone can get involved. So
Everyone can get involved if they want to.
yes. So if only 20 people show up, then all 20 will be racing. But
No, I'm sure the PS4 guys and the PS5 guys will pop times in. So
Yeah.
I've done mine. I know Michael's done his. I'm not sure if you've done yours yet, Chris.
No, not a chance.
I actually didn't do a lap. I just screenshotted my one from.
That's
the
what I
race,
did. I did mine from Slammers. I just screenshotted my Slammers time because I know it's quick enough.
See, I've
hang-
got the lap record, but I just thought I'll just screenshot the race. I can't be bothered. Like,
I'm sure you've got to go in and do it now.
No,
nah.
as long as you've shown. So I went into my stats. My stats show my Ferrari Evo 2020 is a 123.939. So
Oh.
I don't need to do another lap. I already know what my time is.
Unless you're not in the top 20.
But then I will go and
then
put a
you
new
need to-
time
then
in.
You need to go in and put a time. Okay.
I'll go.
sounds good to
I'll
me.
go do a hot lap, like most people will.
Yeah.
But I feel that it won't represent a normal time because in the server you'll be about a second and a half slower.
Yeah. So So if you, right, yes, I see what you're saying, but the guys will just do that, so it's been set
Yes.
up so that they can do that.
Yes. Well, fair dues to them. It's how they want to do it.
Yeah. Hot stint, basically, the car's set up to absolute perfect, optimum
Perfect
setup
conditions.
every lap, and gives you the opportunity to just floor it and go round and get the fastest time possible. So, good luck to everybody.
Yep.
More details of that will follow for PC as well.
Yes.
So tonight, we had a lovely wee race at Laguna Seca, like Dale mentioned. It was the start of our Ferrari World Series. This is a brainchild from Dale himself. So Dale kind of got himself, got it all set up, some really good tracks on there, and each of the tracks are going to be at different locations all over the world. So tonight was Laguna Seca. We're going to have places like Suzuka, Nürburgring, etc. We've got Imola in there as well, and Bathurst obviously is the last one, and it's taking shape already. There was 18 of us tonight.
There was 18, 5 people checked out.
Yeah.
And it's actually, it's the one with a twist, where it's set at the exact time in that particular country. So today was 3:00 p.m. We have Suzuka, which is next Wednesday, and it's going to be 3 a.m. So it's a complete 12-hour cycle, more than it. So it's 9 hours. They're 9 hours ahead of us, and it'll be 3 a.m. So that'll be an interesting idea with a Ferrari, because it starts getting daylight in Suzuka around about, I want to say about 6 o'clock. 7
Yeah, I
o'clock.
think so.
So we should still be in the dark, but the temperatures will probably start to come up a wee bit.
Oh, right, excellent. Damn it. So we'll go over the results later on. We do the results section. And then we'll go over the Tackle Tuesday, the Thursday Night Thunder, Late Night Tequila Slammers, the new Thursday GT3 series that kicked off as well, and we'll obviously do the GT3 series, the Pure Sim Gear GT3 series as well.
Have you also noticed this week that every single series is at Laguna Seca?
Yeah, I've had 3 or 4 races at it now, so.
I quite enjoy Laguna Seca. It's one
mad.
of the tracks I like.
That corkscrew will either make or break your day.
Done about 800 laps there just this week now.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Talking about the corkscrew and messing people up, ask Jamie that from last night in the Slammers.
I shouldn't laugh.
What happened?
I got called cold by Kevin because the way I said, "Oh, unlucky, mate."
So what was it that happened? I missed it.
It was doing so well,
Jamie-
and then it just took him out.
So lap what? Like Jamie's put it on pole. He's pretty quick in that Merc.
Yeah, he really was.
And I was just sitting about after. I would quite happily sat in second all race as long as I beat Hutch to catch him back up. And we get to the corkscrew and he decides to brake a little bit late. And as I've come over the brow in the braking zone, I just see his Merc veer to the left into the wall. I'm like, oh, thanks, mate. I'll take the win.
Oh, I love that. I'll take the win. You were like 30 seconds into the race.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody else that when they first started in the league, I was actually able to stick around with as GT Jamie. Now he's away miles ahead again.
He's quick.
Yeah, he's
Very quick now.
off and running.
So can I just add that 2 minutes ago, we have a poll that's appeared on the live chat.
I wonder
Oh, here we go.
Who is faster, Traction Dave or Michael Races?
Ooh.
There's already been 6 votes so far.
Yeah, a couple of those votes are yes and no, so I don't know who's thinking.
I think at the minute Dave is on form. He's in a very good purple patch.
At the moment, yeah.
Definitely. Something he must be having his Weetabix in the morning or something.
He's talking to me as soon as he wakes up about ACC. That's what it is. As soon as he wakes up.
So I have a question for you guys. Obviously, someone wasn't happy with Laguna last night. Mr. Woodward has asked us not to talk about it. So can we talk about what happened
Well,
I
well,
was traumatised
was he
last
not?
night.
Was he not happy about the taco or the slammers race?
there? It looks to me as if he's just not happy with Laguna in general.
No, he doesn't
Well,
like
he-
it, does he?
He could have chosen a different car other than that Macca, because that Macca hated Laguna for some bizarre unknown reason.
I think it's the sand. The sand on
Yeah.
the track. The sand gets on the track, it's always there. So it is always a little bit slippier. And the problem with the McLaren is when it does start to step out, it's just going to keep stepping out.
It's too
Yep.
stiff for
Yeah.
all the bumps and all
It's,
the undulation.
It's a very downforce dominated car as well. So when it does start to lose traction, it's gone.
Yep.
It's definitely that. I think the first sector's probably the hardest sector.
I
Just-
don't know. I like the first corner. I have no problem with.
That double left-hander, if you don't get
Um,
that right, you catch the inside of the second curb.
I've
you're in
got
trouble. Just
I've got the
pulls
corkscrew
you
pretty
on the
much
sand.
corkscrew to the finish all pretty much sorted out. My biggest
Aye.
problem is getting through the fast left-hander coming up the hill to the
That
corkscrew.
kink, that
and-
left kink.
and making
Yeah.
sure that I don't either catch the sausage curb or lose time.
Go wide.
Yeah, either I'm too committed or not committed enough, and I just need to find the medium.
It's happened so many times. You get caught in that sand at the left-hand side. It sort of dips down, and your car is bogged in,
Yeah,
and it takes about 20 odd seconds to get out.
Those
An
kind of
absolute-
tracks are my favourite. The ones that punish mistakes.
Yes. So
Yep.
you've got to really concentrate.
the British GT tracks are quite punishing as well because the grass is always wet. You get on the grass and it's just slick. You might as well
That's
be on an
right.
oil slick. They're just all wet all the time.
Can I just mention that this just now, FRL racing seems to have got far cleaner in the last 5 or 6 weeks. It's just got, there's the odd little, I know what you're
Yeah,
going
I
to
was
say,
gonna
there's
say
the
there's
odd
a little-
littles, just
there's a
tiny
little-
wee instance, but there's
Yeah.
no malice in anything at all. Apart
No,
from the
there's no-
one that we had to dismiss in the PC, but I think
So
the
the
racing's got so much more respective and cleaner.
so you're saying that the racing's got cleaner, but the FRL chat has gotten worse.
And Tug likes to say the C word
I
like
know,
too many
it's-
times.
3 times he said that tonight on
I
the
know.
my feed, and that's YouTube done. It's the only word you can't say on YouTube because it will get demonetised.
I think there's plenty others.
Well, there is a few.
Do you want us to name them?
Well, no, but like you can.
Please don't!
Well, I mean, we try not to swear on the podcast, but like you can drop the F bomb and all that, and they don't care. But you start dropping words like C and all that, and they just that's it, demonetised. Alcohol, you're not supposed to be showing alcohol, so I never thought about that before, Chris. Because beers
How do
and
you get on?
whiskey.
How do you get on? You're Scottish. How can that work?
Hey, the
I don't need to
Newcastle's
say it,
not far behind.
I just lift up my beverage and
Love that brand placement.
swig away. So it's great having you on the show tonight, Michael. It's always nice to put a face to a voice, and all the guys can now see what you as an alien look like. And talking about aliens, Gamer Dad's always going to come in every week and give us an alien of the week. So,
I'll do that later.
oh,
I'll do that at the end.
Yeah. Or at the
Do it at the
end,
end.
or at
Do it at
the,
the end.
usually
Oh,
you do
the
it at
end.
10:30, so that's an interesting one.
no, it's normally about half an hour into the show, aye, so
Yeah.
okay.
No, I'm doing it at the end today.
Oh,
Okay.
you're going to keep everyone guessing tonight.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'll put a wee poll up.
Oh, yeah, put a poll up, go on.
Okay,
Put a poll up.
I'm not writing out everybody's name in a poll. Are you nuts?
No, just. I suppose.
What am I going to do? Who's going to win tonight? Yes or no?
Hit.
I'm not writing down everybody's name.
If that'll confuse them a bit. Do we click yes? Do we click no? So, Michael, you were saying to us earlier, you have a wee list of things that you wanted to cover off tonight. Is that what you were saying?
I did, but it's
We covered it.
Do it.
yeah.
Do it.
You know what it is? I've got to, as much as I want to go through them, I don't want to cycle through messages from everybody. Having to go back to when it was. I'll try if you want to just
Yeah, you
fill
take
the
your time.
space.
Got a case of
Yep.
CBS. Or CBS. Can't be arsed.
So, what we drinking tonight, Gamer
Iron
Dad? Oh, Iron Brew, get in there, son.
Brew.
Iron Brew.
I remember when you couldn't get that in England. They didn't even know what it was.
I love that. I love this. It's bloody nice.
It's amazing.
We'll have to send some over to Georgie Priest in America and let him know what he's missing out on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's not in a very touristy area. Do you know Orlando and New York and all that? You can get it all day long.
I've got the option because it's been imported, right enough.
Yeah. Just go into the wee Scottish bars and stuff and you'll find it.
Yep. So I'm just on the website just now and just kind of to fill everyone in that our total page views are getting even larger at 16,225, and that's a total visitors of 7,307. So it's working. We're punting it out there. The guys are coming in. We're getting people looking at everything. We've got a great wee latest news section. Our FACO 77, he always sticks up a wee story every now and again in the latest news section as well. So get on there and have a wee read. Some of them gave me a wee bit of a chuckle, so they do it.
So the one suggestion that I've just picked up on quickly from reading my messages is if we can show the standings on screen so people can see them in the chat whilst go through them.
Right.
It's
They're
difficult.
more than welcome. Sorry, on you
How
go, Del.
difficult.
It's difficult. I can do it, but if it goes wrong, then they're going to be watching nothing but a blank screen until I get it fixed.
Do you want me to try and share my screen and then you can potentially?
There's a way of doing it, and I tried it once before when we were not directly in a meeting already, and then I couldn't figure out how to find it again.
Right.
There you go.
Oh, look at that.
So you're going to have to show me how to do that when we get done.
Yeah, no worries.
See where it's at.
Sorry,
I may have turned it off for me right enough.
Quick, hide your Pornhub channel.
shit.
Oh, it's not. It's Grinder up the corner. See it?
No, it's Find an Alien.
Yes.
Right.
So
You just
If
tell
we're
me
gonna-
what league you want to have up, and then I'll bring it up, and
you can come in every week, Michael. So yeah, if you go with Tackle Tuesdays then, so far, and just we can talk about it rather than giving out the names. So
PS4
some of the
tier one.
performances, I mean, if you just have a look, TK Drifter there, Will Friedman and Papano 92, just consistently every single time these guys race, they're always in the top 5, they're always up there. I Am Slow, quite surprised he's not higher myself, and Evan IRL, he's come in and made, like yourself, just the right waves. He's constantly producing the goods every single time he goes on a track.
There's so many people that just show up from other leagues or just for the first time, and they're just quick.
Yep.
And I'm
Yep.
just sitting there, and I'm thinking, I'm probably not alone thinking, you think, oh God, another person that's going to be quick. And
Every single week.
It's mad how much pace there is on all grids.
But I think if you've got a good setup, it's an extremely attractive thing to then have for the faster drivers to then come in and then just. I think it's like a snowball. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and the more faster guys that come in, it gets far more popular. I mean, some of the guys we've had in, they've got massive followings on the likes of their Twitters and the likes of their YouTube. So if it's just getting bigger and bigger. I mean, if you look at how many people are actually now part of FRL,
I don't take no notice of that.
945 was the last I checked.
We're nearly at
Almost
1,000 followers. We're nearly at 1,000 participants on.
If
the
James
Discord
Williams
itself.
stopped kicking people, would be at 2,000.
He just loves his Monday morning prune. Click, 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 click. But it's
the times that I like it is when he does a little bit of pruning and has his shitty little comments about people afterwards.
Tempted to leave and see what mine would be.
You'd have to have
Please don't go.
Have the attraction go in there and take a couple of screenshots. Talking of traction, he says that your preparation for a race is terrible. You wait till the last minute to get your fuel consumption and everything taken care of. And
yeah, I don't.
I'm like
prepare
that though.
stuff, yeah.
I do that. I do that while
must
waiting
admit,
on the start grid.
I must admit, I'm not too not quickly with that either. It's near the end.
I've got a pre-race, and then I've got my pre-race. My pre-race is having at least one poo, just to shave a tenth.
Just to lighten the load.
I think, in my opinion, it's better to leave your fuel consumption till the end, because if you do it when you first start practicing on the track, you might get the fuel consumption wrong, and end up running out of fuel because you've gotten faster as time went by.
I always panic and add an extra 3 litres in a race anyway, all the time.
Yeah,
Always add more.
on the fuel.
Always add more.
Yeah, definitely. Right, so if you pop into the Group 1 teams then.
What's this on tackle?
Yes.
That's tackle, yes.
Tackle teams.
I'm not looking forward to seeing my name. It's got to be near the bottom after missing 2 weeks.
So the usual suspects, the points gap's starting to kind of get there at the very top, but we are only three rounds in.
3 rounds in.
So another 5 rounds to change that, and anything can happen. I mean, some of the venues are that not everyone is super fast and rapid on every single track, so there's always that kryptonite. So people don't like certain tracks. Laguna Seca, Woody hated it. Woody's getting rapid lately, but watching his races last night, you would not have said that, because I think he's got the record for spinning his Maca last night in Laguna Seca. I think about 30 times or something.
More than you. Oh my days.
I span twice last night and I span once tonight.
Yeah, you span right in front of me. I got to broadcast on my screen.
That bloody corkscrew, it just catches your back end. Just catches you off guard.
Oh, you spun before the corkscrew as well, though.
Aye.
That's where Tug almost hit you and then I came in behind him.
No, I never span there. Tug missed me by about an inch.
You were sitting with your back facing the wrong way. Surely that's
no, that was further down the line. So, Group 2 drivers.
I was talking about just in general.
Ah, right, okay. So, SLP Steve, Astral Racer Briz with that bloody Brickley Bentley, Renviller and Wood. So, as you can see there, he's 10th place last night. I'll not thank anyone for reminding him of that, but he's still in the top 5. So if you look at his performances, 2 and a 4, and then a 10, he'll not want to look back at round 3 at all ever again. And then onto the teams. Oh, how tight that is. That's really tight, actually. After 3 rounds, you get Speed Monkey Racing, Renwood Racing, and the Butties. Some of the team names are awesome.
Yep.
Hateful Eight, Penetrate Racing. Spin City Motorsport, that should be in there.
If it wasn't for Woodward, where they could have been right now.
Oh. Woody, tut.
Is that Laguna game?
Yeah.
No Laguna game whatsoever.
Hang your head in shame, boyo.
Sorry, Woody.
We move on to Slammers now.
You don't like PS5?
No,
do you?
but
PS5. PS5. Sorry, Michael.
Anything to get rid of PS5.
See, I knew Michael was top on this one.
The garbage he talks in chat about PS5, and then he just wants to miss it out. You must hate it.
No, I'm helping out. I created all the check-ins for this Friday and stuff, so...
But did you do it through gritted teeth?
No, I asked. Do you want me to do it?
There you go.
So Michael races at the top with Freeman 82, Crazies, Pony Feeder and Martin Road Racing. All the usual suspects. Jan Willem, he's kind of... he's at a DNF. I think that's maybe been a massive crux in his position, to be fair.
I think he got disconnected, yeah.
It looks like he had a bit of a kind of horrid one in round 2, so...
Yeah,
Oh.
he's talking about Kano DJ.
No.
GTG.
GTG,
Oh, okay.
1982.
I thought you were talking about Kano.
There's
I think Kano had a
me
bad
sitting
race.
comfortably in the middle of the pack. Traction Dave. Why is he down there?
It's not very good.
Yeah. So.
He's not very good, but look at that first place sitting there. What you
Don't
meant
say anything.
what you meant to say is you
I can't-
forgot to
I
turn
can't say
up for
anything.
round 2.
Walk it. Just put your mouse over it or something, so it just kind of sits there.
I
like
think
that.
not
That's it.
turning up for round 2 caused a problem for him, and then when he came out the pits, and
Yeah.
then we came round the lap, and me and him had a weak connection.
It's okay. He obviously wants a challenge
So I
because
put him third.
he's got another few rounds to catch that up.
Plenty of time.
You, Mr. White Smurf, came in and had an absolute. He was doing really well in the
Yep.
quali, wasn't he? But
Yeah, he's
unfortunately, I think he was 10th in quali last night. So it's his debut 10th in quali, and then he had a bit of kind of a bad race. So well done to him, though. For
How can I miss 2 races and still be in 28th place? Especially when Caskin over made 2 races I didn't.
Joint.
joint 97. Joint with 10
Is there that much
points.
difference in the points between 21st and 26th then? So 21st is obviously 10 points. That means 26th is 5 points.
Mm.
21st 10, 25th 6,
Six.
so 4 points.
So he was 26th then, so 5 and 5.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be back
And
next
then-
week to gain some points.
And kill Dave.
Teams.
Kill Dave.
Well, that was not quite my fault.
Oh no, it was completely his fault. I've
He
told
gave,
him
me,
that.
he gave me a lovely little squeeze into the last chicane on Suzuka, and I was not giving up my position, and I managed to clip the sausage curb and take him out. And I
He didn't leave you enough space.
unceremoniously did not wait for him, I just took off like a bat out of hell.
So, Run DJC at the top there. With quite a kind of nice wee gap actually building up. One Fast, One Furious, yourself, Michael, and Traction, second spot. But I'm sure if Traction has a couple of good races, he'll start looking and forcing a little bit more points towards that top spot. KG Racing, Team PSR, and Blue Flag Motorsport. And obviously, I'm not saying your team name, Dale. You can say that.
Huh?
Your team name. You and Gamer, you and Crazy's team name.
Patrolling for pussy. It's Pussy Patrol.
Disgusting.
Yeah, he's going to be mad at me because he could be a lot further. Even if I'd came in the top, the last 10, we'd have been further up there a wee bit.
Oh, definitely.
I've definitely been hindering his progress.
But you're
And I
getting
apologise for that,
better.
and I will be back next Tuesday.
So on to Slammers, like Gamer Dad wanted to.
Skip
Jump
everything and go
PS1.
straight there.
Right, there it is. Next.
I'm not top, so
No, he's not even top, so why are we such a hurry to get here to see Mr. Hutch be at the top again?
It's just he did nothing but shout at his poor car last night.
Hutch, yeah. Yep.
Both
That
PS5
minion.
and Slammers. But it's gonna.
So what was
Sixth
he,
place
is he
held
still
in
in the
good
Bentley,
stead.
yeah?
Yeah, he's in the Minion Bentley
Yeah.
for the
Yes,
Slammers.
He's still not changed that paint colour.
it's still awful.
Still Minion.
Canary
Yeah, still
yellow and
Minion.
sky blue or whatever.
By Hutch's
Like
standards, he's had a shocker in round 3.
By Hutch or by Crutch?
Well, yeah, but by my standards, I had a shocker in round 2.
Very true.
So 2 points in it, and then you've got
points.
Fresh Briz keeping you kind of
He's
keeping
in there.
us in the
Toes.
straight and narrow. Andy Kra and Rashid.
It's tight. That's
Mr.
actually tight, really.
It's
See,
good.
yeah. Up to you,
It's
Chris.
good. The Slammers has actually got really strong grid now.
Mhm.
I mean, we had what 15 last night.
I tried to join last
Yeah.
night, and it said I couldn't join during a race session in progress.
Oh, did you just miss the start?
You were in quali.
Oh, you should have waited to the end of quali
Yeah.
and joined.
You're right in after
then-
quali.
You could have come into the chat and then we could have let you know.
then-
We could have let you know.
You wouldn't have heard me munching on onion rings, mate.
Favorite thing.
So
So
what it
good.
is.
It literally sounded like a sound animation for a movie or something, just like pure. It was just a perfect crunch.
We had a Rapid Duck showing up.
That
last
is
night.
Zuchu in
Zuchu.
Discord. Yeah, in Discord.
Ah, okay. So he's showed up in a great race. That's second. He's finished.
He's pretty quick.
Third.
First, third.
Is that his first race?
No,
In Slammers, yes. He's
Slammers,
raced
couple of the endurance ones.
PS5 as well, and Tackle Tuesday PS5. He's racing that.
I don't think he's got a PS5 because he's PS4 endurance.
Yeah, but there's
And you'll
not.
see him Sunday. You'll see him Sunday as well because he's back this week.
There's no
Go
PS5 endurance, though, is there?
Yes, there is.
There is.
Did you
Worse.
finally get enough people?
Yeah, it's quite
Uh,
good.
Yeah,
Listen.
so right now we've got 15 people in the grid. We're waiting on other people kind of getting involved. It's a good
Is
time
that, is
now
that
to
for
punt
the
it.
is that for the test one?
Uh,
Is that the test race this Friday?
Yes.
I think for the season it's nearly a full grid in it,
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
25, 26
Yeah.
or something.
which starts next week. Woohoo!
Is it next week?
Yes,
Yeah, so this week we're doing Imola.
pre-season race at Imola this week. So guys, get involved. If you're a regular season driver,
2 hour
Check in.
endurance races, 2 pit stops, no tyres. Starts
no
at
fuel.
8 o'clock.
The Beamer
2
wouldn't be able
hours
to do it.
carnage. Teams of 2. GT3 class.
G mixed on the PS4,
Yes.
where
Yeah.
quali will be 10 minutes for GT3, 10 minutes for GT4.
Oh, cool.
Could you have dragged that out any longer, Chris? It was very slowly you were.
So I'm just kind of thinking all the different aspects
is-
of the race.
His hamster was working overtime.
Yeah.
Poor
Okay,
hamster's
so-
got to do his brain and his internet.
Let's get to Thursday Night Thunder.
Yeah, I've not seen any of this so far. Have you joined every race or just the first one, Chris?
I just took part in the first one because I was off the next day.
Right.
It was 3 o'clock in the morning I took part, so
So we should expect you. Well, you're in 7th place still.
I missed it. I missed last week's. So I probably only take part in many. I'm off next week. I might get involved next week, so
I
we'll see
need
how it goes.
I need to kick Kevin out of that Bentley.
So he's him and I am slow, obviously, joint top. George, quite close by. I mean, he had a bit of kind of a poor first race, didn't he? Second race. Joe Tro, he's getting involved. Tro 246 as well.
SRE bosses that steady 2 fifth places.
Yep.
So you don't
So-
have to come first in every single race to actually win. You can win these things from.
With the
Being in
point
the
system,
top five.
consistency is key.
Yes, that's what we kind of thought this time round. Get the points closer so that all you have to be is consistent. You don't need to be the top guy every single week. It's getting there. I mean, 11 people took part. I think if they just keep on punting it, they'll get there. They'll get more and more people involved. I don't know how many folk are now signed up. Can have a wee look.
Oh, I think there's like 16.
Right.
I
There's just
think-
been a few guys that have not been
That's
able
just-
to take part.
Yeah. But
They'll
yeah,
get
it's growing. They'll get there.
Aye. That's how we started off, and it just accelerated extremely fast. Excuse the pun.
Well, at least we're not
let's
going
go
backwards.
to- Aye, that's definitely a good point. Let's go to the GT3 Thursday.
Oh yeah, the new
The new GT3 Thursday.
So that's PS4 still, right?
PS5.
Five.
PS5, okay.
It's
PS5.
a PS5 only
Do
series as well.
we've got a crazy Coops in there, don't we? somewhere. Or did he
He
not
got
show
dis-
up?
He did get disconnected.
He got disconnected.
I thought you
yeah.
were going to say he got disqualified.
He
Forgot how to drive
got
on
disqualified
track.
because he wasn't doing comms.
Went the wrong direction in the pits or something.
He was really, really quick. To be fair,
Was he?
Like,
He
yeah,
is
he was.
quick.
He is really
Coops
quick.
is quick.
Yeah,
Coops is
he-
quick.
I've only raced with Cooper once before, and that was at Imola, and he had a bit of a shocker then. But he himself admitted that he was having a shocker. But then before that, I'd never really been around him. So like when I seen him next to us at Monza, 3 laps in, I'm thinking, what's he doing?
Oh. Oh, came up and Dell. So,
Gamer
it's
and
2 races, isn't it? A 45-minute race and then a wee 15-minute kind of super sprint right at the end. Top
Yep.
5 for race 1. Don't qualify and run from the back.
Any car you like.
Gamer Dad himself, Crazy's himself actually. I watched his stream. It's a shame because he was in the Beamer and it just wasn't catching any of the cars in the straight. It just never had the top end speed.
Just goes
So
backwards, yeah.
So
It's-
is that similar to the
Slammers.
the Sunday races? Like a mixture between Slammers and Sunday End, they can just turn up and race.
Yeah,
or-
Any
Yeah.
car, so you could
Yeah.
change
Yeah.
car every week
But
if they really
change
wanted
car
to.
every week.
Yeah,
Aye.
it's kind
So
of the same
next week I'm
format
sure
as-
Crazy's.
It's the format of Sunday racing.
Nearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, it's just split in different time scales. Yeah, 45, 15.
Yeah.
But it was fun, to be fair. I enjoy a 45-minute race. It's not quite like the endurance-esque of a Tuesday. It's still a little bit more sprint, but you really do have to think about your tires a little bit as well. So,
Aye.
and then the 15 minutes just mad.
It's just, I think that's where you're going to see a lot of kind of really, really aggressive but clean racing, especially with some of the faster guys.
I might have a wee
Crazy's
shot.
himself.
Might have to have a wee shot tomorrow then.
Do it.
It's good. Let's get yourself involved. It's what time's it kick off? 8 o'clock.
I never really, pay attention much.
Is this why you turned up late to the events because you don't pay attention much?
I was actually busy having a poo. Like it was just again just before I come in
Yes,
this room.
people.
it's
This is this is Michael's ritual. He's pre-race poo.
PRP.
Shave off a 10. Oh, fantastic!
Imagine if there's any new guys coming in to watch FRL, they've just discovered it on their feed and
Yeah.
that one of our most elite aliens.
how to get fast on ACC. Have a poo before your race.
Fantastic. So you're top of the roster there as well. Obviously, that'll change. That's a game with a point system, and that tiny 15-minute super sprint at the end. It's going
And
to add
it's a
some
reverse top 5 as well for the 15. So
Yeah.
it's really interesting.
You always make up some kind of really good ground on the first couple of laps, but I think you probably start getting a lot of guys that are really fast. I mean, look at that grid there now. There's not much
Think
room there for any error. If any one of you make any error moves or any spins on corners, it's going to be race over, to be fair, on that wee 15-minute sprint.
I think it'd be more interesting if you would make the 5 people that have to start at the back start from the pit instead. I know it's only a couple of extra seconds, but it can really make it more interesting.
To be fair, that would have helped me at Monza, because I got spun around at T1.
Ooh, the famous T1.
Yep.
Yes. Well, Crazies, if you like the sound of Derek's idea, get it implemented.
I've got lots and lots of ideas for the PC as well, but it's trying to implement them.
Yeah.
I had an idea for the Wicked Wednesdays is the ones I usually run, and I had an idea, but I don't know how to implement it. I'd like to put it to where it's a series, but it would be 4 races, and and each race would be one of the new cars. So it's a full grid of Porsches, a full grid of Ferraris, a full grid of the BMs, and then a full grid of the Lambo on different tracks each week. But trying to implement that and get the points on SimGrid and stuff is practically impossible.
Easy peasy.
You say that.
Okay, that sounds like a really good one, actually.
It
Another
might be It might be
twist.
one we have to do just through Discord. Only. See what kind of numbers we can get and just do it straight through Discord and put the results on the
We'll
app.
always contest. We can control it better on Discord.
You can.
Far better.
The biggest thing we use SimGrid for is to get more people coming in
Yeah.
and
Which has worked greatly.
and keep control of the standings. I don't know if the standings if Will takes them straight from the server or whether he takes them from SimGrid when we get done with them.
So we're looking at the pure Sim Gear GT3 league here. So
before we
PS4
carry-
Tier 2 drivers.
Sorry, Chris, before we carry on, Darren is asking what is the possibility of having a PS4 GT4 Thursday again?
So I was going to get onto that. Geo has popped that into Discord as well. Is there a GT, like a Slammers for Thursday? We will bring it back, but just not yet. I have some ideas for Thursday night Slammers. So we're still...
We'll
yeah,
put our heads
we're gonna-
together and come up with something.
Yeah, it's coming. Just got to be patient, guys.
If you do it right, you might get the boss man James back to PlayStation 5.
I've got
'Cause,
my ideas.
'cause,
I've got some ideas floating around in my head for that one.
He's
So
not best pleased with the attraction of GT4 and PC. It's terrible.
I know.
You just can't get
Love
into racing.
love GT4 racing.
Yeah, it's good
Yeah.
fun.
So, yep, if we have a look there, we've got Weedy Kevin at the top. He's no running away with it because Woody, Mr. Alien of the Week, about 2 weeks ago, he's certainly kind of making inroads to battling for the top spot. He's only one good performance away from knocking Kevin off, to be fair. 8th bit Jester in Trio, 246. I mean, look how tight those points are. I think it's this new point system. It's keeping everything really, really interesting.
What track is it next week? We're going to Sega?
Monza!
Probably. I would put it off.
I was
Most likely.
just trying
No,
to see if Neil has a wee heart attack thinking of
We're
going on next week.
everyone's favourite turn 1 and 2 this week. Monza.
Monza.
Yarr.
I don't know, Nürburgring's just as bad these days.
Is it a night
Turn
race?
1. Yeah, Nürburgring's
No.
just as bad.
Not that I know of.
I'm sure it's a night race. Or maybe Imola for Tuesdays.
I
That's
think
a night
Imola's
race. That's a night race.
next week is a night race, yeah.
And it's a 90-minute special as well.
Perfecto.
But this week's going to be nice and sunny as well because I've checked the weather for Monza. No rain in sight.
Yes. We're
So
good,
that'll keep the
good.
Lambo boys happy.
And let's see the teams. Yeah, it's perfect. So we've got Overdose Racing, Not Fast, Just to Be Continued. Of that team name. It's brilliant. Bit Time Bit. Don't even know what that means, to be fair. Bit Time Bit, okay, got it. Wacky Whoppers. Oh, we're up to 4th, I like it. I never realised that. Grinding Smoke Racing, Moonshiners, and Redeem Motorsport. So the tier 2, the kind of it's quite tight at the top there, and then it's really tight in the middle.
That's
Again,
for,
a couple of good
Sundays,
performances.
Right? Pure
What's that?
Sunday racing.
Yeah. We're in the Lamborghini. But
Do you enjoy the Lamborghini?
I love it. It's great. It's very, very. And I know you're probably going to look, what? It's really similar to the Porsche. You can throw it about the track and it seems to just hold. But that odd occasion when the back end goes, it's impossible to catch.
Yeah.
It's when it's going, it's gone. That's it. You just can't catch it. But with the Porsche, you can throw the Porsche about like a cheap whore. Sorry.
You'd know about cheap fours, wouldn't you?
Moving on swiftly. So tier 1 drivers, Speezy up top, with closely followed by Lely. That's and then yourself.
Tier 1 looks a lot busier than Tier 2.
Look at my. I can't believe I'm 5th, to be honest.
7, 7, 7, 14, 7.
Yeah, I know.
You said that.
I can't believe I'm consistency. See, look, 7,
Huh?
7, 7. that one at Spa,
That's double 7.
Yeah, he just doubled it. That was
Yeah.
double points.
yeah, and then a third
Sit.
at Laguna.
Keep going like that, you'll probably be in the top 3.
7th.
What am I? I mean, even who's 6th? Renville. I mean, even Renville. He's come up from tier 2. Look at him, 6th place in tier 1.
Well, Renville was very quick in tier 2 to begin with.
But there is a little
Yes.
There's a little gaggle of Lexuses there. It is a very good car.
Gio was quite worried that he was going to lose his first place in the championship to Renville when he first came in.
I wonder what that table would look like if Crazy's never had his 2 DNFs.
Very different.
Mm-hmm.
He's not enjoying that McLaren, is he?
He didn't at all at Laguna.
No. So that's driver number 2 that didn't like the marker.
Nope.
Who's the other guy that didn't like the marker again?
Oh, that'd be Woody.
Woody!
Sorry, Neil.
But a couple of the kind
Can I
of...
just let the guys know real quick? There's been a number of people talking about my microphone being low, and I'm getting some messages as well. Unfortunately, for some reason, Google Meet likes to turn the volume down on my mic, and then when I turn it back up 2 seconds later, Google Meet's turned it back down again. I just can't seem to get it to stay up. It's something I will work on for future, but I tend to forget here and there.
Learn sign language there. That'll work. Treats.
I'm just going to have to start yelling and shouting and bawling, but the problem is if I do that, the neighbours will get angry, and Google Meet will just turn the volume down.
Google has this really good thing where it mutes background noise, so that's probably what it's doing.
Yeah, well, what it's doing now, I put the volume up to 57, 60.
Whoa!
And yeah,
Whoa.
like that. And then by the end of the conversation, Google Meet's done put it down to 12. I'm like, shit. So I will work on a solution to that. I just don't know what it's going to be.
Turn your mic off and plug your thing in.
Huh?
And then tier 1 teams. There we go. Floppy Fox and Renville are in training wheels. Kicking Asphalt. That's Speezy, GTJ mate, and One Fast, One Furious. Yourself in traction. That guy that's really, really bad at driving.
Yep. Me. Yep.
Slelo is Lely and I Am Slow. And 4th with Phoenix Racing. That's Andy Cran, Crazies in 5th. Gamer, yourself, and I think Joe's had a couple of bad performances. It's kind of
Joe missed Sunday, so we didn't. I only took points home, so
right.
not too worried about teams, to be honest, at the moment.
That's what people in 6th down would say.
Yeah.
But it's Triple X Motorsport as always, everywhere you go.
I love Triple X Motorsport. It's my little brand name.
Pinky, 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 pinky. Water Cup Motorsport, that's Fresh Prison Miles. It was toying with a couple of ideas with the team name with that, and some of them were very, very controversial, so it stuck with Water Cup Motorsport because they're driving the Boltley, of course. Racetrip.hr, what?
Yeah. So I didn't ask questions.
Let's go
That's
to the
what
race trip.
Do not bring that up.
I'm
Like some crazy things kind of popping up on screen. Fresh Sim Racing, and then do we not have a teammate for Fresh Jinx at the moment?
No.
Oh,
He's got to decide which car he actually wants, because he's used a different car every race. That's why he should have 0 points. Oh, if he changes his car again, he'll have 0 points again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anyone's out there and they want to get involved Sunday nights, Fresh Jinx, he is kind of fast. I mean, he's good. He's undecisive.
He's
in
fast.
car.
He just can't find. I don't know why he just can't hook it up on a Sunday.
Somebody needs to team up with him. There's plenty of races left, and you can get that team up there. So anyone, get in touch with Fresh Jinx, let him know your thoughts, and see if he can team up.
Or talk to me.
Aye.
Oh, the wee poll in the chat is going really well just now.
Oh.
Ooh.
There's a poll.
So-
The poll in the chat is: should Kev take out Gamer Dad in the next race? And
Let's get
so far 5 votes, and that's 100%.
100%, yes.
Because apparently he's the only admin on PS side that has not taken you out yet.
Yes,
Oh.
he is.
I'm not taking you out yet, but I'm actually PC admin, so.
No, George hasn't taken me out yet either.
Oh, so we'll have a poll after this and see if George can take you out the second race.
Yes. So if you want to go into the Hall of Fame on the PlayStation side, if you can. The Hall of Fame's always good for people to see. I mean, I don't know if a lot of you...
I figured the lap records would be the next spot because it's been changing a lot lately.
I will touch on that. Talk about that last. So the Hall of Fame's really, really good for just showing you how many races you've actually taken part in.
Oh, I've got a 41.3% podium ratio. I'll take that. That's good.
This is great. So some of the stats that they've managed to come up with just keeps everybody informed as to how well or how poor you're doing. I think that's needs updated. I think I'm at 200 races. I don't know.
My win ratio needs to up though. It's only 11%. It's poor.
Crazies is at the top, of course.
This doesn't count, surely.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
It is stats. It obviously counts. Just
Is that the second time he came back then?
Yeah.
When
it
I,
was.
first,
Yeah.
when I first joined, he had more than 2 races.
I think he
Yeah,
just
no.
knew about this Hall of Fame thing and decided I want to be on that, and then I'm gone again.
Look at your Volton's win ratio. Love it.
I'm in
I know.
26 with 107 races. I don't think I've done that many.
Even Hutch has got a 0.7, mate.
Look at that one podium. And I've done that the hard way. There was actually a lot of people here when I got my podium.
Honestly, there's some really, really good, interesting stats on that Hall of Fame.
There is.
Like
Muck
you'll
about
see
with.
some drivers you think, oh, they're quick, and then you'll see that their like podium ratio is not that good, or you'll get some, oh, he's pretty slow, but he's got a good podium ratio, stuff like that.
points per race is probably a good one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
points per race is a good one.
Yes.
And if you see a trophy next to it, then it says a lot as well.
Yep. So Pat's 24. What's he at? 44 of average points per race.
Yep.
Obviously, he's not raced a lot, but the more you go down, look, the guys, the amount of races they've done. Look, TK Drifter there stands out. He's done 29 races and he's
Yep.
averaging 32 points per race. So
insane.
that's magnificent.
Yep.
Mental, innit?
Aye. SOP Steve, he's not been with as long. He's done 14 races. He's at 30 points. So it just goes to show you, if you go on
Will.
here and have a wee play about with it, Will himself.
Goat.
But he never races. He's always doing all this. This is all his doing. He's him and
The thing about Will, when he does race, he's quick and consistent. So that's why he does as well as he does.
Well, I don't know. He did have a little spin at Laguna. I
Oh,
knew
he-
enough sent.
I said he's fast and consistent. I didn't say he was
some
flawless.
of the faster guys are.
I mean,
let's-
even
let's-
the best of guys get a wee spin here and there. There's nothing you can do
Let's
about
go into the lap records for console just now, and then we'll do the PC lap records as well in Hall of Fame. If
Will
there
we
is a
see,
Hall of
Wow.
we see a Woodward's name up there for spins on Laguna?
Fame. So, for GT3, wow.
Well,
Right,
that Laguna one has
the fucking
changed
names
twice
everywhere.
in 3 days.
Right, so I think we need to reset it and tell Michael he's not allowed to race for a whole season.
You're banned. I mean, it's very fitting that you're on tonight to show how many lap records you do hold.
I can't believe
Jack-
Adam Forster's
And-
still got our fastest lap up there.
And in different cars. He's not in the same car.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's very good.
So Nurbs 54.9. Wow. What?
Who's that?
That's Adam Foster.
Adam Foster.
Yeah.
We need
That-
to,
That's
we-
probably
We've been quick at that in private lobbies.
yeah, but you need to do it in here to get.
do you know
That's the
what's
thing. You need the optimum track. You need the good
Yeah.
temperature in a lobby.
Hmm.
This changes every single race. I think it really doesn't change.
At the moment, it does. At the moment, it
been
does. It's
changing
mad.
a lot lately.
Yep.
This one, this one's very good.
Frightening,
Was that Laguna?
frightening traction.
Yeah,
Frightening.
Laguna.
Yeah.
That's-
That was just the other night, wasn't it? Sunday.
Last night. No,
Just
Tuesday.
Sunday Speezy took it, and then
Yeah.
Dave took it back off him.
Yeah.
2 days later.
Just short of Jardier time.
He was
So-
he was in the Ferrari though, so I'll blank this out.
You stop being mean to that guy.
Now there's a
Give him a
question.
complex.
There's a question. That Laguna Seca, do you think the Ferrari, do you think the Lambo would get you close to that time if you could keep it on track? 'Cause I know the Lambo's quite difficult around there, isn't it?
I think the Ferraris are really good around there.
I
And
think the braking helps out with the Ferrari.
it just feels better through the corners. There's less understeer. You just can just point it and it'll go.
Yeah.
Whereas the Lambo, I was struggling with it. It was just moving about a bit and then understeering. It was just a bit awkward. But
Yeah.
Dave can drive it, so if he's happy, then that's the main thing, eh?
He's always protecting your rear end, so you got to keep him happy.
I've been protecting his recently. You should have seen the battle with Crazies last night for 25 minutes. I was sweating.
Make the car as big as you could.
I was the widest Ferrari in the whole of the world.
So let's go into the PC section.
Yep. Where are we going?
Into the Hall of Fame.
I don't
See,
think
this is the thing.
the
Being
Hall-
on
I think
PlayStation,
the Hall of
I
Fame's
don't.
a bit empty on yours just now, isn't it? On the
Let's have a
PC.
wee look, see what it says.
We're slowly filling up the lap records.
Yeah.
And there's some lap records in there that are like, huh?
I bet Katie's got a lot of them and all.
Oh, there he is.
I think Keddy's not got a lot of the lap records, to be honest with you.
Ah,
He
there's
went
some,
against him like though,
there's some
didn't he?
proper elite aliens in there, but he did two back-to-back wins tonight on Laguna Seca.
That I want to give a wee shout out to him. That kid Amir, in 8th place, he would have a lot more races done and a lot more stats and a lot more lot more first places if he wasn't having PC problems. And I think some of his problems are internet as well, because he's drives out of Iran and his internet's not the best, I don't think.
Right.
But I mean, he is quick. He was him and Keddy done I can't remember where it was, an endurance race, and that's all.
Last week.
That's all Keddy would say in the PC chat was, "He's fast, he's fast, he's fast," because he's very, very quick. It's just a shame that he's having so many technical issues.
Yeah.
But I do think that's worthwhile mentioning. But I mean, between Alfie Barn and Rick Tadema and all that, there's a lot of fast guys in there. People have not even mentioned.
Look at that. I'm in 7th place on PC as well.
7th place, 19. Good. I've only just started doing races again because I'm out of the steward's office.
Mhm.
Let you out.
I've not even made it to the 20th place yet.
Should we do lab records?
Yes.
Yeah, you could do.
God, this is
Yeah,
gonna put me in traction, Dave, in our places, isn't it?
It depends, because this all started, I think, from the V1.8.
Ah, okay.
So they might be a bit slower. There's probably some of them that aren't.
Yeah. So Laguna Seca's
Well, see, George
1.1 off
Boothby,
you.
George Boothby came in for a race one night, and
I was gonna say, yeah.
was doing a bit madness. So
I set up a Suzuka race. It was an endurance for 90 minutes.
and that was him
2
playing
hours, 90
around
minutes.
as well. He wasn't even driving that hard against anybody.
He lapped the entire
challenge
field twice over, apart from 2 guys.
Twice over for the entire field, twice for everybody.
Yeah.
There was nobody
Yeah.
that wasn't lapped twice.
The closest guy to him was doing 202s or 203s, and he was consistently pulling in 59s in his Porsche all race.
So, but in qualifying, he said, "Well, we're obviously a bit faster than everybody." It was a mixed race, a mixed class, and he actually said on his stream, "So I guess what we'll do today is just figure out how many times we can lap all these guys," and just went out and tried to lap everybody. But I mean, he wasn't pushing like you normally see him pushing. He was just screwing
is very
around,
quick.
and still doing a
And if-
159.
If you watch him, if you can see inside the view, he changes his brake bias depending on the corners, etc. He switches it about.
Yep, it's what all the top guys tend to do, isn't it? Is have it mapped for each corner.
Have a wee button mapped onto their sophisticated 12 grand steering wheel setups. Teddy
Yeah.
is probably still trying to work out what the buttons do.
Did we? Where's Monza? Is Monza up there from when we done the charity event?
Yep. I've got this one here, 48-1.
So that should have been changed. The record guy called Jerome's, who's in the FRL esports team now. He was putting in, him and his buddy actually were putting in 147s, world 147s. So that's actually the record.
What?
But I don't know if maybe they're not counting that because it's a charity event. But I think it should count.
Yeah, definitely.
Get in there and get that changed as soon as. Also, I mean, we do have a massive PC backing, so some of these lap times are probably needing to be kind of redone. So that's Zandvoort. I'm sure we had a PC race in Zandvoort. Did we not?
A what?
I don't know.
A PC race
No
in
idea.
Zandvoort?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not been updated. It was last Friday.
Aye, with 40. What did we have?
47.
47 drivers.
Yeah, we've had 54 in Alton Park, and that was a disaster. We had 47 in Zandvoort. It was a disaster. And if we get about 50, between 47 and 50 again on Friday, at Zolder, it's going to be a bit of a disaster, I'm sure. then we move on to the tracks that are a bit better off. But we've tried to move it around. We can't keep on moving to a separate server, back to the same server, AM split, no AM split. So we're just going to have to get through this season and work on it next season, deciding to change it. So.
Cool. Excellent. So that was very, very good of you, Michael, to do that and bring that up on screen.
Yeah, it's all right.
You need to get with Dale and get him so you can figure out how to do that.
I do a lot of online meetings, put it that way.
So I'd like to also just mention, quickly shout out for last night, we done a wee race over at EOS.
Right, okay.
It was 2 hours mini-series endurance around Spa. Keddy and them came in P12, I think it was, in the end up, or P14. And me and James came in P30th. And that had a bunch of aliens on it, that had a lot of esports teams in it.
Right. How many teams in total? So like 46 teams or something, wasn't it?
It was 54 started, there was supposed to be 56.
Jesus. So it's a middle of the pack.
So we started in 53rd. I started the race and there wasn't any rain, but the track was soaking wet. And we made the decision, both teams, to go on dry tyres, even though it was not recommended. Unfortunately, probably about 10 laps into it, as the track was beginning to dry, we had a safety car. So for 3 or 4 laps, the safety car was just bunching us up because there was a big crash. And,
was the actual safety car, like a legit?
Yeah,
That's
we had
mad.
it was an AMG, just with a safety car livery on it, and
That's cool.
He just kept the track running, and then
That's cool.
when we got back to racing, it had gotten cooler, and the track just never dried until an hour in. So when I passed it over to James, he went into the track. It was just about fully dry. There was a couple of puddles, and then he went into night time. So it was a very challenging and fun race, but it was really enjoyable.
To go from 50 odd down to 30 at the finishing product, Dale was magnificent.
And you know, I hate to sound like as if we didn't do good because we done brilliant, but in my stint there was a case where we came round the corner on Kemmel Street, and you get the big puddle.
Mhm.
Everybody was catching it, and the cars were sliding. And there's 3 cars or 4 cars in front of me that all went spinning. And I barely hit one guy, and it put me. I had to go to the pits for damage because as we came round, he was spinning in front of me. And I had the car pointing that way, it wouldn't get traction and go, and it destroyed the front end. So that cost us. We were in 33rd place at that point, and it was maybe 15, 16 laps in, about halfway through my stint. That put us back to 44 or 43. I managed to get back up again to about 38, and then when James came out, he was down in 47th, and he brought it all the way back to 31st, and then he had someone spin in front of him that he couldn't avoid, bounced off the wall and came back into him, and that knocked him back to about 35th, and then he still brought it back to 30th.
Excellent.
So I think they could have been a little higher, but 30th place is definitely what we'll take.
The main thing is to just keep going in any race, isn't it? Just even if you've got damage, just try and get back to the pits or reset the pits and just keep going.
Keddy in that finish?
They finished in 12th, I think it was.
Yes.
They were fighting the top guys all the time, but I mean, you're talking
FRL
about
representing everywhere we go.
Yeah, the top 10 teams were putting in like mid to high 217s and really low 215s or 218s.
We've got a vote that showed up in the chat saying, will Volton ever score? And so far it's got 100% saying yes.
Does it just say score?
There.
Oh, see, it was meant to say score a win because somebody asked about the vote and I've forgotten a word. Never mind.
So that's open to interpretation then. Will you ever
Yes,
score?
yes.
A goal? A woman?
It has gone wrong.
Both? Yeah? No?
Also,
I would say yes to all three.
Also on the front of the esports team that we have 12 hours of Mount Panorama this weekend on Saturday.
Bathurst? Oh yes.
Yeah. So there is 2 teams. We've got my fast team and my slow team. One's in the BM, we've got the Macca. We're going to be, me and Nathbit are going to be starting off the racing. James is going to come in a bit later and do a couple of double stints just to catch up.
Excellent.
But yeah, 12 hours in total around Bathurst.
Looking forward to that. That sounds good. I'll be in Liverpool myself, but I'll be able to kind of watch it when I'm half canned and in my bed in the hotel room.
We did decide that we're going to go ahead and do 1 hour stints. We thought about 2 hour stints, but I think 2 hour stints at Bathurst might be just a bit pushing it, especially when you've got a 12-hour race ahead of you. Because either way, you've got to come in, get tyres, refuel, and the driver swap doesn't cost you anything. So you might as well swap the driver and keep everything fresh.
Just keep it going.
Yeah.
So we're kind of getting to the nitty-gritty end of the show. And Gamer Dad will be itching to do his driver of the week.
You got any questions this week as well, Chris?
Genuinely, there's nothing come through. It's just been a kind of hodgepodge on the kind of the live feed itself.
What do we think of the new DLC on PC?
I have drove 2 cars. I wanted to do a bit more, but we're getting set up for the podcast. So the Ferrari is fun to drive. It's absolutely got blistering speed in the straight. When you come to the corner, you have to brake earlier than anybody else. Let's take Laguna Seca for tonight, for instance. Usually when I'm coming up to the braking point in the first corner, it's the 400 metre marker. I was probably about 150, 200 feet earlier.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, it's basically a road car, isn't it? With a powerful engine.
It reminds me a lot of the FFX, the Ferrari FFX.
What's
The
that?
way it looks.
We have a question from
Neil
Woods himself.
Neil Wood.
Shock.
Every week this guy emails in, it's starting to stock, but it's directed at yourself, Michael. He's basically put a quick question for Mr.
No comment.
Races. No comment. No, he's asking, ACC is one of the best racing simulator games in my personal opinion. I was just wondering how much therapy Michael needed after this small incident that we had at Spa.
Well, as you can see, my arms still haven't quite recovered. Do have PTSD every time I go through Eau Rouge and Pavillon.
I remember that. I remember that well, that race.
But
Oh, man.
it has brought us closer together in many ways.
Wow, that was crazy. Your steering wheel whipped back and nearly took your bloody both hands off, I think.
Well, the thing is, I'd only had the Fanatec not too long, and for the beginning of using it, I had the gain in the game set to about 90, which is just too high.
Jesus.
It is just too high to actually drive properly anyway. So like as soon as I hit him, the force just chucked me.
Boom.
Yeah. The other night my hand was sweaty, and I was going around a corner, and my hand fell off. I was going around a corner, and I was like, okay, back on.
Do you know where
Which
gloves?
Fanatec did you have?
Who does gloves again? Is it Pure Sim Gear?
Pure Sim Gear gloves, guys. Get on there, get them ordered. Or,
No, I don't. I don't wear gloves. Because the Fanatec wheel, same as you, Del. It is quite nice to hold after a while, but then sometimes, like when Crazies is following you for 25 minutes, 0.5 behind.
It becomes extremely difficult.
So, as you get the same steering wheel, the McLaren.
Yes. Yeah.
So, what Fanatec is it you use?
CSL Elite,
Okay.
PS4 version, obviously, or PlayStation version. Yeah.
So you're running, what is it, 4.6 Newton meters?
I think it's a bit. I'm sure it's a little bit more.
See, I'm running 5. I know the CSL's just a bit higher for the normal one. But I was sitting thinking as well, when I first got it, I thought, I'll need to get the 8 Newton meter, I need to get the 8 Newton meter. But the 5's actually perfectly fine to get started with, because I moved from the Logitech, which is 2.1. So when I got this thing, I was like, oh God, that's quite a bit of force. And I'm kind of glad I went for this, and then maybe in a year or so I'll get the 8 Newton meters.
Just build up, really. I think
I think that's
the
a
thing.
smart idea.
The funny thing is, when I got mine, going from the G29, I was running it straight away on 100%. Like all the settings on the wheel were like 100, 120. Like everything was the highest, because I just wanted to feel some force. And after a couple of days of like using it, I don't know where. I think I caught myself in the mirror, and I thought, oh, I've got a lump on my arm, and no, it was a tricep. It actually just built some muscle. I literally got scared by a muscle on my arm that I'd not seen in a long time.
Very good.
Then Dave came round and tried it, and he was like, yeah, just straight away, first corner, he's like, need one. So
Definitely.
highly recommend if you can
Oh yeah, definitely.
afford, and if you care enough to invest.
So,
Right, it's
Gamer,
just
you've got us at the edge of a seat. Come on.
What? Right.
Why and who?
Why?
Wow, yeah.
This
Why?
is Alien
Right,
of
so-
the Week.
How can I? Well, he's the face of some memes created by someone.
Right.
Funny reactions, especially on his videos. He got his first win Sunday, and then the win on Tuesday, and a lap record. After
There's no stopping this
after so long of being the nearly guy, that bottle meme was hanging right over his head for a while. But yeah, Traction Dave this week is Alien of the Week.
and an absolute godlike.
Definitely. Definitely worth it. He's been very, 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 very consistent this week.
I think me threatening him with the bottler on his Discord name kicked him into gear.
It's like, do you know what? Screw you. I'm getting Alien of the Week this week.
The thing is, I think a couple of weeks ago, I actually gave him a stern talking to. I was like, look, you just have to start putting more time in. You are not naturally talented enough to be quick. Like, put the time in. And he did, and it shows.
You know, it's
It's-
funny that you had the same conversation with your friends that I have with my friends up there in the top corner. Mister, I'll
Well-
show up 2 minutes before the race and then ask for a bunch of help to get it all set up.
I was
Tonight was your worst episode ever. 2 minutes before the end of qualifying.
Unfortunately, I've got to work 5 or 6 days a week. I would happily leave work and do this full time, but unfortunately, I've got to put food on the table, pay the bills.
I'm very good at turning up late, and
We know that because you practice at 2 and 3 in the morning when me and you don't sleep. I kind of get my practice and my setups done, and then that's so that I can then just come in from work and do it.
Takes time, man. It takes time sometimes to
You
turn
always
up to a
help me
race.
as well.
It's hard.
I would say that I've improved slightly, not massively, but I've improved slightly. I'm not as far off of the front runners, and it's down to Gamer. Gamer's always tells me to do wee kind of tweaks here and a wee tweak there, and it's working.
Take the
working
right
at
line.
absolute treat. Aye.
He was
That's
ignoring me the other night, and I was like, "What way do I need to do my toe on the rear to get more stability?" He just ignored us.
If you'd have done that, it would have probably gave you an extra 10, maybe 2 tenths, and you'd have just left them for this.
Have you got one of the cheat sheets, Michael?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was just thinking, if you're doing setups kind of by feel and just a little bit that you've learned on what you've learned on YouTube, I was wondering if I sent you a cheat sheet if you get even faster.
No, I didn't use it a lot. To be fair, I tried to be a bit of a natural with it, but it was too hard. With jumping between cars, they do different things.
You don't need them a bit faster, Dale, for bloody hell.
All cars are different.
Yeah, the thing about the cheat sheet as well is it's not that you're cheating to make a setup. All you're doing is you're using that to tell you what you need to move. After you've used that for a little bit, it becomes second nature. Well, I need to go down on the rear bump in order to make the car not slide as much.
For me, it's just there's a part where it just explains what each thing does, and I think that's the main thing that helps me. It was just like, front toe will increase turning, but it'll give you oversteer if it's too much type thing. And then those kind of things is like nuggets of gold, really.
Which is my favourite trick for being able to turn in better is caster.
Yeah, well, this is the thing I
use
did
the caster and then bring your
do a lot of caster.
A little bit. Yeah.
I change the caster a lot.
Yeah, so
I'll
this
go
is
as
where
far as 2 times up.
I messed up the other night. Me and Dave had the same setup, and the force feedback was updated on PS5, and it was a lot stronger. So I know from experience, if you want to have it a little bit less, you turn the caster down. But that reduced my sort of feel and turning massively, whereas he kept it the same, nice and strong. So he was just getting like that feel as soon as he was turning the wheel. There was no vague. So that's all I'm putting it down to. I would have been quicker than that.
Traction Dave's put up. Thank you very much. It's appreciated. The memes are better than the racing. The cheat sheet is my phone and my wallpaper. My phone wallpaper.
It really is.
He's just put knowledge is power.
Knowledge. It really is his wallpaper. I've seen it.
Dale, can we just finish off the show talking a little bit about Pitwall?
We're not finishing the show at all.
Talk about Pitwall.
Pitwall, yes.
We have a.
I probably should have researched it a little bit better, but
you explained it quite well to me.
So basically, what Pitwall is, it gives you all the stats and times and drivers information of a race. So when our comms guys are doing the comms, they'll run it in the background, and it will pick up every bit of information. It'll tell you what driver split times are. It tells you every time they've made. It'll tell you if they spin. It'll tell you if there's yellow flags. It'll tell you if there's a car flying off track and going to somewhere else like Woody does. It tells you everything. And we've just picked that up. So I believe on the PC side, if you go into, there's a link in the chat. It says LFM and Pitwall.
It's on the channel where you can get access to the sim grids.
Yeah, the sim grid. It's an old PC channel, but it's LFM and
SimGrid LFM and now Pitwall Live.
Yeah. And basically all you have to do is when we have a race running, just click on that link and it'll take you in, and you can see all the stats and information on your phone or whatever while you're watching maybe the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And you're keeping up with it.
It's
I
brilliant.
think we might try and run it on Saturday when we're doing the 12 hours of.
Oh, that'll be great, actually.
I'm not sure how it will work, whether it's got to be one of our servers. James was going to give it a test on the EOS server.
hmm
But
It's a nice layout. You're
Is
going
it?
to see like the live
Yeah.
feed of the race.
So
You're
we,
then going to have up at the top corner quite a nice, healthy looking size of the grid, showing you the positions of the cars going round. And you've got all your deltas below it as well, keeping you abreast of all the kind of gaps between the cars as well. It's great. It looks brilliant. So get on, have a wee go, guys. The link's in there, and just want to have fun whilst Dell and James and that are taking part in this 12-hour at Bathurst.
well, I mean, that'll be a test. I don't know if it will work for that server. I know it works 100% on our servers.
Mhm.
So whenever we've got a endurance race going and things like that, you can use it. And it's,
Excellent.
a lot of I know that a lot of the drivers use it when they are doing their endurance races. They'll go in and look at it all the time because it tells you you can gauge how many pits someone's done instead of having to go into certain factors on the game. You can just look at pit wall on your phone, for instance, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. So you can then change your strategy based on what they're doing.
Yep.
It'll also
These are factors that are involved in the racing real world.
Yeah.
So
I
just
wonder-
to bring
I've-
that realism
I've not
even
looked
more
into it. I
immersive.
wonder if it will give you
Yeah.
more information on weather. Wonder if you'll get a bit extra time knowing if it's going to rain or not. I need to look at that.
Cool.
I don't know if that would be a thing or not. Because more than likely it'll be running off of the script of the game. So if it can see that, it's because it's seen the script.
So, Michael, have you got anything else you would like to cover off tonight?
Just this really.
Love it. I absolutely love it.
Oh, it's so good.
I saw that in the chat earlier as well.
That's going to make him absolutely famous.
He is great content.
Fantastic.
One of our admins, Mr. Crazies, has asked me to just random, but we are 47 members away from 1,000 in FRL.
Oh,
So if you know anybody that wants to come and race, send them our way.
yeah, and James,
got-
just for the time being, don't kick anybody now. Wait till we get to 1,000, and then you
Well,
can.
no,
play.
it'd be okay.
Don't kick anyone and take a day off.
It'd be nice to get to 1,000 with people that actually want to race, though.
Yeah, of course.
I understand why he kicks people. If they've been in there for more than, I think it's 6
30
months.
days.
It baffles
days.
me where
30
people
days.
will come in and then they'll just leave themselves without getting involved in anything. I
Yeah.
don't know what that is.
I've
There's-
seen people on SunGrid that will join one of your races, they register for it, and then never go into Discord and set it up, and then just not turn up.
Yeah.
And the only problem we have with that is that means
That's-
that someone doesn't get to race.
Aye. It's
So-
quite frustrating, I know.
So
But it's
we've
part and parcel.
but we've got it to where we don't force the server at the moment. So basically anybody that's reserves can get in if we've not got a full race.
Cool.
So anybody that doesn't turn up, but we're trying to work it out the same way as we do on PS for the reserves.
What
I'd
were
like
you
you
going to say there, Gamer?
Nothing.
Cool.
I'd like you to find a league that does everything as much as FRL does as well, over as
Yeah.
many platforms. For me, I wouldn't know where to.
No.
There's nowhere.
We've got quite a good kind of like team in the background on the admin side that are all doing their own bit and keeping it going. And we all bounce off each other and support each other. And if one is miss a check-in, one of the other guys will stick a check-in up and stuff just to
Oh,
kind of keep us all going.
talking about missing stuff, Chris. You need to reset the PS5 server for Imola.
I'll sort that tonight.
I was just seeing it keep flashing up on my phone, like in chat.
I'll do it now as soon as I'm off this. And I'll get Tackle Tuesday check-ins up as well for next week.
I
Yeah.
think one of the benefits that FRL has just now is, without thinking about it, they kept the PS4 format. And there seems to be a lot of leagues out there that are dropping the PS4 for the PS5.
Dropping it
I
like a wet sock.
I think possibly because PS4 is not getting any more updates or anything, so they don't think it's going to be relevant shortly. But at the end of the day, you've still got plenty of drivers that are on PS4 that can't afford to buy a PS5 and get upgraded.
Do you want to touch on Gamer they go down to one tier on some of the kind of PS4 things, or is that still in the works? Is that still?
We're still debating whether to do. Yeah, especially with tacos. So yeah, just watch this space, people.
Cool.
I
We
suppose-
prefer full grids to.
I prefer full grids to two half-empty ones.
Aye,
but I
it's a
suppose you
far
still-
better race.
Still got to be careful because if there's 14 people in each tier, that's 8 people you're putting in reserve.
Yeah, I know. So yeah,
But
but
you gotta be
14's
careful.
not a bad size grid, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's when it gets down to the 11s and 10s.
and 9. I
You
think we were at 9 in Tackle Tuesday tier 1. But
No,
we
so-
did have a lot of reserves that saved the day.
That's
And talking
interesting
about-
to hear.
Talking about Taco Tier 1, Darren Mark turned up in Tier 1 last night and finished 9th.
That's right. Supposed to be racing in tier 2
Yes.
and did that in tier 1. So
Oh,
well
yeah,
done,
Dan?
mate.
Yeah, he put it
Well
in the
done, Darren.
put it in the chat.
Mixed it with the big boys.
No, he's all
Showed
upset.
some
He's
of
not
you
getting
how
any
to
points
how
for
to
it.
race.
He's upset. He doesn't get any points for that showing.
No, he is getting points. We're
Oh,
giving him
Oh,
the
there you go,
points.
Dan. You are getting points. Well done, mate. I told him he should get double for fighting with the big boys.
So a massive thank you tonight for Michael Races giving us his free time tonight to come in and promote his King's his crown.
And YouTube channel.
And
Well,
YouTube
you've not
channel
promoted
and-
your YouTube channel yet. You want to?
Michael Races.
What a surprise.
No. I need to catch up on him and sub, so everyone unsubscribe from him.
Well, hang
Don't,
on.
don't go to his channel.
How many subs do you have?
178.
I'll give you an extra one if you give me one.
Nah.
Okay. My
share and
content's
share
not that
alike,
great
share
anyway.
and share alike.
No, I do. And anybody that shares their channel within FRL anyway, I'll try and subscribe if I see it.
Cool.
I'm only 70 behind him, so
Got to win 70 more races to get there.
yeah, mate. Yeah, definitely.
So that wraps up our show for tonight, guys. Again, if you want to go on to the website, it's Formula Racing League .co.uk. Get your emails over as well, your questions for next week. So don't hold off. We'll build them up. We'll feature them on the show. Formula Racing League 0 at gmail.com. And of course, Sim Racing Clubs, Pure Sim Racing. You can get details of how to get anything that and any of our other merch on the website, so just pop on, guys. Well, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Right, see you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.